questions for Coach? Patrick, you're meshing your defensive philosophies with Pete. What is that process like?
I mean, anytime you get a chance to work with someone with that experience, that level of success, I couldn't be happier with the experience going on right now, just in terms of being able to bounce ideas off of them, hear different ways of doing things. It's been real beneficial for my growth, if I'm being selfish, which has been something really good and positive for me. And then, again, the track record, why wouldn't you listen? I mean, like, you got to listen. And it's been great. It's been great.
To that point, Pete specifically has had great success in the secondary with defensive backs and everything. Just what have you thought, sharing thoughts with him on that aspect of the defense?
I'm being a sponge anytime he's talking to those guys. That's my personal experience with it, and you can see the energy he has and the ability to teach the position and coach the whole team. It's just been really a great situation for myself, for the players, the coaches. We're watching a master teacher working at his craft and seeing it live and in person. It's real beneficial for us.
So this is another offseason of change for you guys. What went into that process for you of connecting with Pete Carroll once he got hired and then making your way back here?
The thing about the NFL, every season is a season of change, so we get accustomed to it. Each week is a week of change. So, I would say that, we're all used to something like that to a certain degree, but just working with Pete's been great. I mean, it's been great. I mean, just the energy, talk about that, the football knowledge, learning from there, and just having somebody to be able to talk to about situational football, talk about defensive philosophy. It's been great for me. And that's me being selfish, just talking about from my perspective. I couldn't be happier with the situation. It's been great.
Coach, what have you learned about the defense throughout OTAs? And kind of a two-part question, that one, but also what's the biggest thing you've learned from Pete Carroll so far?
Yeah. So from the defense, they'll hate this answer, but we got a long way to go. But so do I as a defensive coordinator for 2025 season. So that's the benefit of the OTAs and the mini camps. You get out here. Football in June, you guys probably heard me saying that to the players. It's a great experience, and the situational football we're going through, that's been positive, and we're learning from it. And then just in terms of, Pete, I've said it enough already. It's been a great experience for me. What
have you seen out of Darian Porter, just in terms of what he brings to the table skill set wise?
Obviously the length, that's a positive right there. The speed, that's all stuff that's documented. The thing that I see the most that sticks out to me is the combination of his effort and his ability to correct mistakes. So when you have a rookie player coming in first time in the NFL, if you can see the effort, him getting on the same page with how we play, our play style, that's a positive there. And then if you can eliminate the repeat mistakes, you're on the way to becoming a dependable football player.
Patrick, Christian is working his way back, but what can you say about your group of defensive tackles so far?
Love the group. The group has been, I think they spearhead them and the defensive ends. They spearhead the message about effort in terms of you see those guys running around. I know you haven't been at every practice, but they're running around after doing a tough individual with Robbie and his crew over there. So that's been the most positive thing that I could talk about right here without getting into any specifics, but the effort and how they play, the play style, how their play style, the relentlessness they play with, and then on top of that, the bond they build off the field. I'm again old linebacker coach, old D-line coach, but if I ever need a pick me up, I'll go sit in the room. And just listen to them bond and how they communicate. It's pretty cool.
Patrick, what are you hoping Devin White can add to the defense?
I'm always hoping for good football players to play good football. So that's the simple answer. But his experience is a positive. I would say that his flexibility for the position. He's played all over the field before. He's been productive both in the run and the pass game in different ways, whether it's blitzing, whether it's covering people, whether it's manipulating the front. So it's always a positive to have a good football player. It's always a positive to have a smart football player. And then you put on top of that experience, I just hope it all comes to fruition once we get going.
Jakarian was somebody that was playing at a pretty high level, and injuries hit him, kind of interrupted what was moving in the right direction. How has he kind of responded so far this time of year, and what's the next step for him?
You have to ask him specifically all the ins and outs of it. But for me, coming out here every day, working hard. You know, the speed's not going to go anywhere. You can see the physical. I mean, in terms of him building his body back up, you can see where he's at with that just when he's walking around. And then the next step for him is just to keep improving. Again, still young player. You know, I don't have the number of games on hand right now, but it probably doesn't even amount to a full season yet based on injury history, what happened with the injuries last year. But just keep improving, because at that position, once you get some more experience, see all the releases, understand the situational football, it's all going to help them be better later on.
You've seen 3 regimes in 3 seasons, and obviously there were optimistic moments in each of those 3 seasons, especially this time of the year. But what just feels different about the energy in the room right now?
Each season's so different, you know. Each season's so different. Every season there's 32 teams that have great optimism about the season. So the thing I can say about the 25 Raiders, you know, we're having fun out there. We're learning how to practice, you know, at a high level. We're in the vision of how Pete wants it. So again, there's no like certain feeling or anything, because the seasons are always different. But I just know that this group of men right here, they're forming a bond. They're understanding how it's based on relationships here. And the biggest thing that we have to focus on right now is not real true football, but we got to play with great effort. Great effort, communication, get our fundamentals down. So that's usually stuff we talk about every season. So.
A lot of new faces on the linebacker core as well. Then Elandon Roberts, a veteran of the game, of course. Like, what does he help bring to kind of help stabilize that group as you've seen so much changeover with him?
E-Rob will joke about it. It seems like whether I've never coached him, but it seems like I coached him. He said, like, Pat, you've never coached me, but, you know, it seems like you coached me, because we have so many mutual, you know, connections in the NFL. So that's been real positive. That's been real positive. I love talking football with him. You know, we could sit over there, whether it's on the sideline, just on the sideline, can't say in the office. So, you know, rules. But like it's been great just talking football with him. And, you know, that position is critical for me to be able to speak to him. I don't want them to be coaches, but, you know, for us to have a great understanding, because usually that's the spot with the green dot.
Coach, can you talk about bringing in Jeremy Chinn and what he's provided to the safety room, but also kind of Isaiah and him stepping up and kind of taking on that role kind of from last year as well?
Starts off, I would say, with Jeremy, the leadership. You know, I don't know if you guys got a chance to talk to him, but just in terms of his leadership, he's very sure of himself because he puts in the work. You know, that self-confidence comes from preparation. You know, it's not a self-esteem thing or self-talk thing. When you're prepared, you have that self, you know, you're really, really confident. That's what I see from him. And he's been a sponge in terms of learning how we want to do things, and then all the physical attributes. But, you know, all 32 teams know about that. You know, the speed, the size, the physicality, the ability to tackle, nose for the ball. So, I mean, it's all been positive there.
In terms of collaborating with Pete and this new regime, what would you say is the identity of Raiders defense this year?
Well, it starts with our effort. I hate. If one thing I've learned from Coach is to make sure, simplify the message and just keep giving it to him. Just keep giving it to him. So, like, it doesn't have to be 20 code words or 20 buzzwords or some big paragraph or anything. We got to play with great effort. We're building the foundation for being a physical team. We got to play smart, you know. So those are the things in terms of what we want the defense to look like. And then, you know, make the offense earn it. You know, no easy plays. You got to take away seams. You got to take away posts. Can't let them run the ball around the edge. Again, it's not real football in terms of the run game yet, but we have to have an understanding of that's what we're trying not to give up, you know.
Two more, Richard, Paul, and Q.
Patrick, you've obviously seen a lot of regime change here since you've been here as a coach on the staff, but there's also been nothing but continuity with you as a defensive coordinator. How key then is continuity for you in terms of getting that effort, but also ultimately having success defensively?
You know, the continuity thing, again, I keep telling you guys, each season's so different. You know, you take a step back, you evaluate yourself, me personally, like what did I do, what can I do better, what was good. Then you look at the defense and see what was good, what was bad. Then you got to look within the league and see what the trends are. Because if you don't stay ahead of it, you could get in trouble. So, I mean, it's important. You have to ask the players, maybe they care, but like we start over every year, so that's a big part of it. But, you know, regardless, the other 31 teams don't care what our feelings are about continuity or whether. So we got to get on the same page, and that's why we spend all this time in the office. That's why we spend this time out in the field. So we got to get on the same page. Everybody's got to understand what the vision of coach, how coach wants this team to be run, and our play style and everything, and we got to go from there.
Coach, you mentioned kind of learning from Coach and seeing his philosophies. Does this help you get a little bit even more creative defensively and be able to call a little bit more, maybe get a little more exotic?
I mean, you got to look at my career. I've been blessed just with the people I've been able to work with, you know, whether it's from Josh to AP, working with Flo, working with Coach Belichick, you know, Spags. I mean, I got a lot of football up in this brain. Now, I can't pour all that out to these guys in terms of all that scheme, but, I mean, then on top of that, you put Pete Carroll, and, I mean, a football junkie who doesn't have habits. Doesn't have any. I do have habits. Doesn't have any hobbies. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Biggest thing you've learned about this team and about your group specifically over the last few weeks of OTAs?
Just the biggest thing about the team is basically, man, it's a lot of coaching. The standard is there, you know. But it just can't be talked about. You know, you got to come in every day, and you got to win the day. You know, you can't try to come in and be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, and I think Pete is doing a very good job. You know what I'm saying, instilling that in us every day. You know what I'm saying, and everyone is hearing it, not just the vets, but the young guys. The coaching staff, everyone in the building, you know what I'm saying? We take it one day at a time, and it's just like a football game, man. You got to take it one play at a time, or you get to be looking too far ahead or worried about the last play, and you can't focus on what's in front of you, and that's what we try to do every day we come in the building.
Talk about there being a lot of culture here. What do you believe you are trying to add to this culture? You or Devin or any of the new guys coming in, what do you think is your job to add?
Man, I'm just trying to do my job. You know, when I look at myself in the mirror, man, I definitely see a leader. I definitely see a person. I'm real hard on myself, you know, and I think that adds value to the younger guys and even myself, because if I'm always thinking about being an example and not being the person that you're looking at and using for example, you know, I'm gonna always be where I need to be and stuff like that. And you know, man, these young guys really push me. They really push me, especially at the where I'm at in my career, and I enjoy it, man. And I definitely enjoy the vets. You know, Devin has been a joy. You know, every day. You know, we're competing. We're trying to get each other better. Tommy Eichenberg is doing a great job in our room, and then our coach, man, JG, he brings the juice every day. You know, I feel very, very excited about our room, especially the leader that's in it. You know, even though players win games, coaches put you in position to do what you need to do, and I feel like JG is doing a tremendous job in our room. You know what I'm saying? Especially with it still being a younger group.
You mentioned on Max's podcast that you feel like a young dude, that you got that young energy. What is it that's giving you that young juice?
Oh yeah, I'm still young. I don't play like that. You know, I tell them all the time. You know, they get to running, we doing our little drills. I get out, you know, and they be like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm still, you know, don't do that, don't do that. You know, but man, it just. And look at this, man. Look at this facility. Look at Nevada, you know. And I wake up every day. I'm looking at mountains and the sun out, and you're just feeling good, man. I wouldn't say in my other spots, it wasn't. You know, it didn't feel enjoyable to go to work. But when you actually see it, you know, you actually feel it. You come in the building every day, and Pete, 70-something years old, man, and. You know what I'm saying? He first one in, last one out. He always pumped, ready to go. Why not match that energy? Who am I to say, man, I'm tired. Peak 70-something. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And he bring the juice every day. You know, and it's kind of like, okay. Like, you know, and it just, you over, you know what I'm saying, at your desk and you just feel energy. And you just look back, trying to figure out who that was. You know what I'm saying? You can feel that shit. And it's a great feeling.
Rob, you've worked in the past with Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick. What similarities, what differences do you see with them and Coach Carroll now a couple of weeks into OTAs?
Yeah, I think every coach have their differences, you know, and I'm not here to compare because they're great coaches in their own lane. You know, Bill is great in his lane, Pete is great in his lane, and Mike T is great in his, and they all been champions. I think the one thing that do make them all the same is they all been there. And they all has held that Lombardi, so they know what it takes and stuff like that. But like I say, man, Pete is in his own lane. Pete is leading in his own way. And with his energy, his desire, his standard, it's like, hey, get on this train. Because if you not on this train, we're going to find somebody else to do it. And it just is what it is. And in this league, man, this is a competitive league and stuff like that. And all 32 teams got the same goal, and that's to hold that Lombardi. And if I feel like me personally, if I come here one day and feeling sorry for how hot it is outside or what we have to do today, I'm just cheating the process. Because if I'm not every day in here with the mindset of leading my room, being that leader on the defense, being the green dot, bringing the juice every day to make sure that we at the standard that we need to be at, then I'm just cheating the process. And that's one thing that I harp myself in every day I wake up. Once I hit them doors, I'm like, let's go. You're going to think like, dang, this motherfucker gonna get tired. But I changed once I got to the door.
Patrick was just saying that even though he hadn't coached you before, that it seems like you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
You kind of you know what each other's thinking without talking. What ways have you seen that come across?
It's kind of crazy. It's like growing up in the same household, but in a different generation. But the household didn't change. It's kind of the same. So like when he talked, like I'm just kind of zoned in on him. I spent a lot of time with PG, and stuff like that. We only get a certain amount of time in the building, and I'm trying to pull up on PG at his house and everything. Like, hey, let's talk a little ball, because we only get so much time in the building, but just knowing how PG came about and his pedigree and his philosophy behind the game, I just know like it's never a dull moment. I can't text him and just or pull up on him or just ask him, man, let's talk ball, because I know, man. I'm telling you, PG the type of guy, he wake up in the morning, he think about football. He can be eating something, he thinking about football. He can be watching AFL. He can be watching them play, he just start calling plays. Like, oh, here I do this, because he's that locked in, and stuff like that, man. He's a great coach. He probably even better person, man. And he's a man of integrity, but at the same time, when it comes to this football, he's not cheating the process and stuff like that. And I love just being around that. And like I said, just knowing where he started, I can kind of talk his language. I can feel where he's coming from with certain things. I can kind of, beat him to the punch on certain things, not trying to, but I'm just like, hey, would you, like to do this? Or if we see this, I know you call this, but would you like to get it to that type stuff? And he said, nah, hold off on it right now. It may be too much. And I'm like, okay. But he know, like, hey, I'm seeing where you're going with it just from us kind of being in the same system and similarities. And he got new obviously, he didn't create his own type of schematics around defense, but he's still pulling from them same type of trees, and he's just blending them all together.
At this stage of your career, why is it important for you to take it that extra level where you want to pull up, like you said, at his house to talk football? Why at this stage of your career are you still invested that deeply?
Because every day matters. I ain't getting no younger. I might be out there moving like I'm young now. I might look, but I ain't getting no younger, and the older you get, the more you start appreciating day in and day out, because I can't get that time back and stuff like that. And I'm in the business of saying, not if I would have did this or if I would have did that. I'm in the business of now, no matter how I take it. And one thing I do know about leadership, just coming up as a young, but leadership is lonely. I promise it's lonely, but at the end of the day, the loneliness ends when you holding that Lombardi at the end of the day. Because everybody you push, including yourself, you strain your family, you strain your coaches, you just always want the extra to just make sure. And people might get tired of you, but one thing I know, when you holding that Lombardi, they're gonna come up to you and say, I appreciate that. And that's all I want. That's all I want. I don't want any fame behind it. I don't want nothing. I want all my teammates to be able to feel that. I want Vegas to be able to feel that and stuff like that. And it starts in practice. And yeah, we get up here and we talk about it with y'all, but we gotta bring it every day to that practice field. And I feel like that's what Pete is doing for us.
You talk so highly of PG. I feel like you missed him by 1 year in New England, 1 year in Miami. Like, is it
every year,
man?
If I didn't want to get fined, I would tell you how I really feel. But he was running from me, put a little two letters in front of it, but he was running from me. I got here, I say, it's about time. What's up? What's up, man? You know, he laughed and stuff. I'm like, golly, man, running from me. I'm telling you.
If you would take a second to be selfish, at this point in your career, to be playing under Pete, to be playing in this regime and, you know, this era where everyone seems to be really bought in, how does that excite you, just the potential that you have for growth personally?
Oh, man, it's not selfish. I feel like if I'm not coming in here every year trying to grow, then I'm just stuck in my ways. And this is an adapt-or-die business and stuff like that. And I'm always adapt. I'm always in tune and change because these offensive coordinators in this league, they getting smarter and smarter, and they scheming it up every year better and better, even week to week. And you got to be able to adapt. You can't be stuck in your ways. And seeing new things and seeing just new concepts across the league. I mean, even Chip, man, I'm in the lab. I'm like, he would not get me tomorrow. Him and Gino would not get me. I'm just, but it's exciting. It's exciting and it's good. It feels good to be able to say, dang, man, the offense got us today. Like, we got to do this, we got to do that, because you get to winning and you think this, you think that. No, I like the back and forth because it's competition and it's fun for me and stuff like that. So to answer your question, I definitely, every time I come in, I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to think about how offensive coordinators are looking at certain situations, what type of situations they're trying to put us in and stuff like that, because it don't just make me a better football player, it's making me a better communicator to be able to communicate to my defense about the situations that we might get put in, so that, yeah, it's not me making a play, but Lonnie might be able to jump around, or Chinn might be able to jump around, or Max, he may just not even, without getting a sack, I'm like, hey, quick game, he got to get his hand up, bat the ball down. So we all went in and down just off communication. It might not be me making the play, but it's the Raiders getting off the field. So we give our offense another opportunity to get on the field.
We're gonna do two more. What is that challenge like? You mentioned Chip Kelly, and he ain't gonna get me. What is that like going against that offense every day?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I don't want to put it out there, because we still gotta compete. I'm telling you, our other teams be looking at this. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna put it out there, but no, yeah, they doing their thing on that side of the ball. Trust me.
You're being brought in as a culture setter, and Max Crosby has long been like the heart and soul of this franchise and the leader in that locker room.
And he still is.
Still is. And just working with him hands-on now, like, what has that been like?
It's been great. It's been great. And you just said all the things that he is, and me, what I appreciate most about Max is when I got here, and even us talking day to day, he's like, E-Rob, I want you to lead. I want you to do this. He's embracing me, and I'm telling him, hey, so we're embracing each other, and he don't feel like I'm stepping on his toes. I don't feel like I'm stepping on, and vice versa. And you just see like a true competitor and a guy that's saying, look, man, I want to win, and stuff like that. I don't care about the individual goal. I care about the team goals, and that's just the type of guy he is. And I'm enjoying it, and like I said, this is just the infatuation stage right now, OTAs, new group, new coaches, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we still got to get out there and we got to compete. But we're going to continue to take it one phase at a time. Right now, we're in the OTA phase. Then we got mini camp. Then obviously training camp. Then it's time to play real football and stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
How you doing?
What do you make of the new digs so far?
The new what?
The new digs, as in Las Vegas, Raiders.
It's great. I'm having a great time out here. It's awesome. I'm getting used to the weather a little bit. It's hot, but it's cool.
What are your initial impressions of playing under Patrick Graham?
Great. He's very communicative. Just the way he wants us to understand why he calls things in certain situations. So, that way it can be easier for the players on the field. Just like when we get in certain situations, just kind of know what he's thinking, and so we can all get in line.
Something he said just a couple minutes ago was the reason why you're so good is because you're so confident in your preparation and what you put in to, being as good as you are. Can you just, speak on the testament to that?
I appreciate that. But I think you are. What you do, like how you do anything is how you do everything. So, preparation is definitely a huge part of anything you do in life. But football specifically, just the workload that goes into it, physically and mentally. It's not something you can just show up and take care of business. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, and I take a lot of pride in that.
Your DB coaches told me the other day that they see you as like a chess piece. Like, how much pride do you take in your versatility?
A lot of it. I feel like I can affect the game in a lot of ways, in a lot of different spots. And this defense is allowing me to do that. So it's super exciting.
Biggest thing you've learned about this team throughout OTAs and then about your position group?
We have a lot of competitors. This team, we're going to compete. Like even today, just going back and forth with the offense and just competing against those guys. We're just going to make each other better. So it's great having a group of guys that can just iron sharpen iron.
How have you felt about the level of communication between this unit so far and how everybody's kind of developing together and learning the little nuances that each other has?
Yeah, I think it's been improving a lot every single day as we continue to get to know each other and just how we can communicate to certain guys and just get the best out of them. Like I said, it's just been improving every single day. So as long as we continue to make steps, I think we'll get to where we want to be.
You've had a lot of versatility throughout the course of your career. You're able to move around different spots. What goes into that background of being versatile like that?
I think it started really early on in my career, my rookie season. Just being in a situation where, I was asked to do a lot of certain things. It kind of made my mindset like this is the life of the NFL. Like there's going to be a lot of different roles, a lot of different responsibilities. So I just kind of took that and rode with it for the rest of my career.
Who has stood out to you on either side of the ball so far? Who has stood out to you?
89. Brock, he's a special player. I think Jency's been running really well as well. Jacoby, he runs really good routes. He challenges us, and Gino, there's sometimes he'll throw a ball and just be like, "Damn, there's not too much you can do about that."
On the defensive side of the ball, is there a teammate that has caught your eye that you probably didn't know of before you came to Vegas, and now that you're like, hey, he can ball?
I'm not gonna say that I didn't know of him, but I mean, just E-Rob working with Elandon, he's helped our defense, so far a whole lot. Just his confidence in the huddle, and kind of just his leadership, what he's expecting of certain guys, and in certain times, certain situations in practice. Isaiah, pull him out. He's been great as well. He's been very communicative, and he showed his leadership as well. So those are just two examples, but. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty more just around the defense as a whole. Max, of course.
Pete Carroll made it very clear when he got here, this is not a rebuild. They want to win now, right? Yeah. And they want a quick turnaround. You saw that firsthand last year with your former team. So that experience, being able to bring that to the table in this locker room, how important is that to you?
I mean, it's great because, like you said, I've seen it. Last season being in Washington. I mean, it's a different team and a different place, different situation, but I've seen what it takes to be able to just kind of have that immediate turnaround. And I think it starts with the guys in the locker room, and I truly believe we have the right people in our locker room.
Was there something you saw last year, around this time last year with Washington, that nobody else saw, that you guys knew in the locker room, hey, we're better than people think? Was there something you saw that maybe is similar here?
The veteran leadership. For sure. Guys like Max, guys like Elandon, guys like myself. So just having guys, I really haven't seen. I've seen from afar, really on the offensive side of the ball. But just having guys like I just mentioned, I think it starts there.
You've seen out of Darian Porter thus far.
He's been playing really well. He's got great technique. He's playing, more confident. So it's cool to see. Every time you can see a young guy just kind of come in like out of college and just feel like he understands it. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table.
I know you came from another historic franchise, but what does it mean just to wear the silver and black, just knowing the lore behind the Raiders?
Yeah, it's great. This organization and fan base is one of a kind. I experienced that a little bit when I went to Bakersfield, California for a signing, and just seeing the fans there, just the passion and how deeply rooted it is from Las Vegas to Oakland, all throughout the Bay Area. So it's great. It's super special to be a part of. Now, I've always witnessed it from afar, but now being here, it's a blessing to be a part of.
Last year you talked about having better offers but wanting to be in Washington for leaving what they had, leaving Coach Quinn, all those things.
Yeah.
What was it about Las Vegas that you wanted to be a part of?
I was really excited for the opportunity to work with Coach Carroll. He was someone when I was coming out of college, I kind of thought maybe I was going to go to Seattle and kind of have a certain role there and be able to play, under Coach Carroll. But, obviously paths go different ways, and I'm grateful for the path that I had and the path that I've taken. But having this opportunity now, and being able to talk to him and during that process, it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Jeremy, are you asking Coach Carroll, like, what did Cam Chancellor do in this? What did Earl Thomas do in this? And
I don't really ask about like specific guys or specific plays, but I see it all the time. They've shared it, and like I grew up watching those guys, so like I kind of know like how they went about certain things, on the field, at least on Sundays. I didn't get to see the behind the scenes all the time, but even working with like Bobby Wagner last year, I was able to, ask a lot about, some of the guys that he played with in the Legion of Boom.
What is it about Pete Carroll that makes you want to buy in, that makes him such a great leader, and has he been as advertised?
Yeah, better than. But his energy, it's contagious, like it's real. And just the belief that he has and his guys, the belief that he has in me, it only builds my confidence up and ultimately my ability to go out there and succeed.
Considering the secondary is still pretty young, especially that safety room, what's the biggest thing, as a veteran leader that you try to preach to these guys every day?
Consistency, and the game is about the ball at the end of the day.
All good, guys?
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
How we doing? Doing good. It's good to see you guys.
It's your second go around being a part of these OTAs here in Las Vegas, but with this new Carroll regime, now it's really starting to get going. And what is your impression of this new staff?
I think the whole team's in a developmental mindset. It's been awesome. We've been flying around, having fun. This is the most fun I've had in football since I was a little kid, and it's super exciting. We're competing, and we're going out there and playing football, so can't complain.
Jackson, how excited are you to block for Ashton Genty this season?
Super excited. You saw all the videos. Like, that's not scripted. I'm not that great of an actor, but no, he's awesome. He's been doing so good. All the hype is real, and I'm super excited to block for him, man. Maybe get some celebrations. He's a great TikTok dancer, so maybe get my hips loosened up a little bit. So.
Last season you started at a few different positions. How helpful has it been to be able to really lock in on center so far?
Yeah, very helpful. You get to see everything from every angle. You can translate a lot of things from guard to center, and it's been great. And I think these coaches have been doing a great job of, putting people in uncomfortable situations and situations they haven't been there before. And then I think the experience of me playing multiple positions has helped me with that here at OTAs.
What makes Geno Smith such a different quarterback compared to any other one that you've been blocking?
So much experience. I call him an old man every day, but he's got so much fire and like so much youth to him, and the knowledge of the game, how he does it, the passion he does it with. It's second to none, and I've had such a fun time being able to snap to him and be able to block for him.
There's been a lot of talk about the energy that Pete Carroll brings to this team. Like, what would you say about him and your observations so far to that energy and how it's helped the team?
I think everybody sees it. Like guys have said, like, we're having the funnest time in football that we've ever had, and that starts with him. There's basketball hoops all around the facility, and when we're ever done, he's shooting around. He's having fun, and if you want to have a team who has a lot of fun at what they do every single day, it has to start at the top, and he has fun every single day. He brings the juice. He doesn't have a bad day, and it's infectious energy that it's really been put onto us.
You mentioned the basketball hoops. What other things does Pete do to kind of embrace that culture of competition throughout the facility and at practice?
There's a lot. We do little competitions, like we'll do jump balls. We did like a little like walk on or like walk marathon thing, and we did like try to kick field goals. We did a little bit of cornhole. He's just mixing it up and always competing in something. So, but we do a lot of shoot-offs, so that's fun.
Jackson, it feels like you want to be a leader, that comes naturally to you. As a young player, what's the process of trying to find that fine line between kind of being respectful, being a young player, but also wanting to lead? And do you feel like that's coming naturally to you in year two now?
No, I think it starts with doing everything right all the time, and I've had a lot of great mentorship in that. been with Max all off season and seeing how he handles things and trying to mimic that as much as possible. And I also got vets in the room with Alex Kappa and Colton Miller. So seeing how they lead, seeing how they go, just trying to replicate that. And then, being into my second year, trying to find my place and where that is, but just being myself. I mean, one thing is I'm not going to change who I am. I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to be running around, screaming, yelling, hollering. So, leading by play and leading by energy and love of the game.
How has the offensive line done so far, just as you're learning Chip Kelly's system here?
I think everyone's doing great. Like as I said, developmental mindset. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I've been in a couple of offenses in my time, but it's super fun. It's super great. And like me being an Oregon guy, getting to run a little bit of old Oregon fires me up a little bit. So it's been awesome.
How's it been working so far with Brandon Carroll, a fellow Pac-12 guy, and also Coach Dickerson in the new offensive line staff?
Yeah, only thing I don't like about BC is he was at Washington. But other than that, no, he's been honestly so amazing. I mean, these coaches are awesome. They bring the juice and bring the fire every single day. Like I'm excited to go into work every day and be able to be coached by them. And I think they're helping me out so much. This kind of really been one of my best off seasons I've had, just because how much they're coaching, how much detail, and how much their infectious attitude's been impressed on us. So.
What excites you most about the offense this season and how it's all coming together early?
I mean, the speed and the guys we've added and kind of the mentality around it too. I mean, we've talked about Genty, we've talked about, Dante Thornton's another huge one. Everyone's talking about him. I recruited him to Oregon, so I'll take a little bit of that. But he's a baller. I mean, you look at Betch, you look at everyone coming back, Cobes, with Gino. I mean, speed, and then go back to Genty with running the ball. I think we have a lot of, speed running around, but I think we also have a lot of power, and it's just a lot of new, exciting things and a lot of weapons that we can go have fun with.
What's Gino brought to the offense?
I mean, a lot of experience and a lot of calmness. Like you need somebody at the helm that's been through it a lot and who knows what to do. I think that's huge. He knows what to do, and he's teaching all of us, and he knows almost every position, and it's crazy. Like he can give like props to the left tackle. He can talk to a receiver. He can talk to a tight end. Like when you're out there in those situations, it's calming to know that I'm playing with somebody who's been through it so many times. So
bond and friendships are just so important for an offensive line unit.
Yep.
Colton and Andre were friends since the Oakland days.
Yep.
Now you're here, and you and Colton are viewed as the leaders of this offensive line. How has your chemistry and relationship grown with Colton?
Oh yeah, I mean, I love Colton. He's been awesome. Like ever since I've been here, he's really mentored me. Like I bought his mom's house. He's awesome. How he handles things in his routine is second to none. I was so happy to play next to him last year and be able to help him out because, guard tackle, you guys are, playing together. So being able to play with him got me super close to him. And then being able to be, around him off the field, meeting his girlfriend, having my fiance and his girlfriend, talk and really connect off the field has been awesome.
Jackson, at this stage of the game, when it comes to the offensive line, obviously you don't have pads on, you're not getting physical. That's where you guys make your hay. But what's most important for you guys all as a unit right now?
I mean, getting the playbook down and getting the continuity and just really being on the same page. Like right now, you can treat every rep as a Super Bowl rep, and you can try and mock that, but you also gotta be sure to know that everybody knows what they're gonna do, and that's what the off season for, and that's what OTAs are for. So.
What's different is what's asked of the offensive line in this system than before?
I mean, there's a lot put on us. Like you got to run the ball to be able to win the game, and that's been impressed on us every single day. And I think we're taking a lot of pride into that. Like we've seen the stats where we're the worst rushing team in the NFL. I see it as an opportunity. Good. So opportunity to get those numbers up, and also put a lot of the responsibility on the team on the offensive line.
Jackson, a lot is made from about how players jump from year one to year two. Where have you gotten better at this offseason?
Yeah, I've hammered down a routine. I've lost 10 to 15 pounds. I'm faster, I'm stronger, I'm getting a lot better at technique. I got to throw a lot of that on the coaches. They've been absolutely amazing, as I said. So getting a real off season at center is huge. I mean, you kind of go back to my college years. I really never had a real off season of center. I was always playing 5 or 6 different positions. So being able to really hone on one has been awesome. So I think I'm going to make a great jump. I'm going to give it as best I got and have some fun.
We've seen from Caleb and Charles so far, the rookies that the Raiders drafted, and how important is it to you as well to potentially be a mentor, somebody that helps them out?
Yeah, no, those guys are awesome. I mean, the rookies are great. That's kind of funny to say the rookies. I feel like I'm still kind of a rookie. No, they've been awesome. They've done everything that's been asked of them. They're here early. They're doing everything that they need to do, and I think they're doing a great job of finding people to, learn under. And I've done the best I could. I've had them over at my house a couple times doing laundry, cooking meat, trying to learn on the Traeger. I mean, I'm only 22, but I'm still trying to hone those skills in. So maybe that's another off-season goal.
One more, guys.
But yeah, so they've been awesome.
Any progress on getting a burger named after you in town?
So I got a burger named after me. It's at Barcode Burgers. It's called the Big Jack's Burger. I brought it to Vegas. It's super good. You guys should go try it. So. Yeah.
Thanks, Jackson.
Thank you.
For that putt yesterday.
The putt yesterday? Oh, okay. I got to talk about this. We have a little golf league. I started off pretty bad. I shot over 110. Wasn't good, but didn't have a great performance. Came back to Southern Highlands, shot in the 80s. That's more my sweet spot. But we went and played the Summit, which, by the way, beautiful course. Didn't play great, but I played great team golf. Had 2 putts that kind of put us into overtime. Had a putt that kind of snuck it in and got it right. So I think that's kind of the biggest challenge this offseason has been getting better at golf. So thank you guys so much.